I mentioned the complexity of the squats, and what we want to do on a daily basis is make sure we're adequately prepared for that. And the first thing we want to do is go through our daily dynamic warm-up. It's a quick 15 to 20 minute warm-up that actively mobilizes and activates the muscles surrounding the main joints. Those being the hips and the shoulders. So all the muscles surrounding those main joints, we're going to activate, get the blood flowing, increase our core temperature, as well as mobilize, work on the mobility surrounding the joints. What we're going to do for that is a combination of myofascial release with the foam rollers, as I'll show you shortly, as well as other activation and mobility work. So what we're going to do now is show you our daily dynamic warm-up. You can use this not only for days to prepare for the back squat, but also the deadlift, bench press, and overhead press. The first thing we're going to do with the foam roller is foam roll our soleus and gastrocnemius. So what we're going to do is put the weight on one leg, roll out, and whenever you have a spot that is tender, hold it there for a couple seconds until the pain subsides, and continue to find knots. Do this for about 10 to 15 seconds per leg, to your left, in the middle, and in the right. After that, we're going to work closer into our hamstrings. We're going to put pressure again on our hamstrings, roll out, feel around for tender spots where there might be a knot, hold it until the pain subsides. We're going to do this on the sides and on the inside as well. After we do our hamstrings, we're going to work on our quads. So we're going to come out, put pressure on one side, roll. Once you find a sensitive spot, it's a little tender, hold it there until the pain subsides. Roll around to the left and the right. Work on each leg, and after that, we're going to work more on our back. After working on our lower body, what we want to do is really focus on our upper back. So what we're going to do now is lay down right in the middle and just roll back and forth while protracting our shoulder blades like such. Again, once you find a little bit of a tender spot, hold it there until the pain subsides. After foam rolling, the first thing we're going to do to get a lot of blood flowing and activate the muscles surrounding our main joints is just a body weight squat. We're going to do 10 reps in the normal stance, just like that. After doing a less complex bilateral movement like the body weight squat, we're then going to move into a more complex movement with our lunge matrix. The first thing we're going to do is 5 lunges per leg to the front, 5 lunges backwards, hips back, then 5 lunges to the side. These are lateral lunges. We're going to push our hips straight back, just like such. The next thing we're going to do to further engage the hamstrings, hips, and lower back is what's called a hip bridge. What we're going to do is lay down, have our legs at a 90-degree angle, pull our hips straight up, hold it for a split second, back down. Hips up, back down. Just like that. The next mobility drill we're going to do to not only work on mobility, but also activate the hip abductors, which are going to be very important with our squat, is what's called a fire hydrant. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get on my knees and my hands, arms straight, upper back nice and tight, a nice arch. We're going to keep a 90-degree angle between our leg and abduct the leg. While doing this, focus on keeping an arch in your upper back and your arms completely straight. The next thing we're going to do after activating the muscles surrounding the main joints of our hips is going to be mobilizing them. The next thing we're going to do is what's called a rollover complex. The first rollover we're going to do is going to focus on increasing flexibility in the hamstrings, hips, butt, lower back, as well as getting a lot of synovial fluid and basically decompressing our spine. These are what they're gonna look like. We have 10 legs straight and then 10 legs V'd in. I'll show you the first two, which are gonna be legs straight. And then the next are gonna be legs V'd in like this. Just like that. The last stretch we're going to do for the lower body is the only static stretch we're going to do, and it's a hip flexor stretch. For those that don't have very loose hip flexors, we really want to focus on increasing flexibility in them, and will make for greater power output. For those that are just starting this, they're going to be very tight. So we want to first start with pushing our hip forward, keeping our chest up. If our left leg is back, we want our left arm up and reaching over. Hold it for 10 to 15 seconds, then go to the next leg. For those that have greater flexibility, what we want to do to make it a better stretch is pin our leg against a wall, like such. Pull it straight down, have the knee go straight down, push the hip forward. Same thing. Hips forward, chest up, reach up and over. Hold it for 10 to 15 seconds. Increase your flexibility in your hip flexors, greater power output, bigger squat. Because the squat is not just a lower body movement, we have to make sure our upper back and the muscles surrounding the main joints of our upper body, our torso, are activated and mobilized as well. Being that as our shoulders are the main joint of the upper body, we want to make sure we activate the muscles surrounding them, mainly our upper back, and also mobilize them as well. The first thing we're going to do is get a very low tension band and do what's called pull aparts. The first one we're going to do is hands over right here. Keep your shoulder blades retracted like such. Pull the band apart. Keep your arms straight as you do this. You don't want to do this. That's tricep movement. We want to keep it into our upper back, just like such. We do 10 right here. Then we do the same thing with hands up, supinated like such. Upper back tight, shoulder blades retracted, arms straight. 10 just like that. After activating the muscles surrounding our upper back and our shoulder joints, the next thing we're going to do is working on flexibility and mobility in the upper back. So the last thing we're going to do for our dynamic warm-up is what's called a band dislocation. First, grab that same band, low tension, and what we're going to do, keeping our upper back nice and tight, shoulder blades retracted, arms straight, we're going to pull all the way back and all the way forward. As you increase your mobility, you can move closer in to make it a greater stretch. Again, it's important to have a very low tension band. We don't want anything to pull or, God forbid, anything to tear. So make sure you have a very low tension band when you're doing these dislocations.